particular. In Tier 1, people should work from home wherever possible. In Tier 2, alcohol may only be served in hospitality settings as part of a substantial meal. In Tier 3, indoor entertainment, hotels, and other accommodation will have to close, along with all forms of hospitality, except for delivery and takeaways. And I'm very sorry, obviously, for the unavoidable hardship that this will cause.
Unavoidable hardship.
Endured so much disruption.
It is avoidable. You people don't have the fucking right to shut people's down.
A uniform set of rules.
You act like that we're your fucking slaves.
To say we won't have negotiations on additional measures with each region. It's a uniform.
The people are not your fucking slaves.
Experience that there are some things we can do differently. So from the 10 p.m. closing time for hospitality, we're going to change that so that it is last orders at 10 with closing at 11. In tiers 1 and 2,
of course, the fucking virus doesn't come out
inside and outside,
except for
with capacity limits
before 11 o'clock.
Social distancing, providing more consistency with indoor performances in theatres and concert halls. We'll also strengthen the enforcement ability of local authorities, including
strengthen the enforcement
officers and new powers to close down premises that pose a risk to public
They
health.
want to force you closed if you don't comply.
I should say, we will announce which areas will fall into which tier, I hope on Thursday, based on analysis of cases in all age groups, especially the over 60s. Also looking at the rate by which cases are rising or falling, the percentage of those tested in a local population who have COVID, and the current and projected pressures on the NHS. I'm sorry to say, we expect that more regions will...
Where's the proof that you can actually
into higher
identify COVID?
Than before. But by using these tougher tiers, and by using...
Have you ever seen COVID-19 under a microscope?
On an ever greater scale, to drive R below 1 and keep it there, it should be possible for areas to move down the tiering scale to lower levels of restrictions.
Restrictions, huh?
By maintaining the pressure on the virus, we can also enable people to see more of their family and friends.
Oh, you're going to allow this? You're going to allow people to see their family?
I can't say that Christmas will be normal this year.
Really?
But in a period of adversity, time spent with loved ones is even more precious for people of all faiths.
You don't give a shit.
We all want...
Of course, you're going to be with your family, aren't you?
We need it. We certainly feel we deserve it. But what we don't want is to throw caution to the winds and allow the virus to flare up again, forcing us all back into lockdown.
The virus is not forcing anybody.
So
you, the government, is.
While minimizing the risk, we're working with the devolved administrations on a special time-limited Christmas dispensation, embracing the whole of the United Kingdom and reflecting the ties of kinship across our islands. But this virus obviously is not going to grant a Christmas truce. It doesn't know it's Christmas, Mr. Speaker, and families will need to make a careful judgment about the risk of visiting elderly relatives.
Yeah, exactly. It's our responsibility, not yours.
Clinically extremely vulnerable on how to manage the risk.
We can take care of our own health. We don't need your help.
As we work to suppress the virus with these local tiers, 2 scientific breakthroughs will ultimately make these restrictions obsolete. As soon as a vaccine is approved, we will dispense it as quickly as possible. But given that this can't be done immediately...
What are you planning on doing for the people that refuse the vaccine?
Use rapid turnaround testing, the lateral flow testing, that gives results...
What are you using, the PCR test for testing?
To identify those...
You can't test for COVID-19 with a PCR test.
Transmission. We're beginning to deploy these tests in our NHS and in care homes in England, so people will once again be able to hug and hold hands with loved ones instead of waving at them through a window. By the end of the year, this will allow every care home resident to have
You're going to
visitors
force
who
the
will be
elderly in
tested twice a week.
home or house arrest?
Care workers looking after people in their own homes will be offered weekly tests from today.
They will be offered, huh?
Next
What if we
month,
refuse?
Weekly tests will also be available to staff in prisons, food manufacturing, and those delivering and administering COVID vaccines. We're also using testing, as the House knows, to help schools and universities stay open, and testing will enable students to know they can go home safely for Christmas.
Oh, really?
Back from home to university.
Really?
But there is another way of using these rapid tests. That is to follow the example of Liverpool, where in the last 2.5 weeks, over 200,000 people have taken part in a community testing, contributing to a very substantial fall in infections. So together with NHS Test and Trace and our fantastic armed forces, we will now launch a major community testing program.
Oh, major community testing program.
In tier 3 areas in England.
Using the military, huh?
A 6-week surge of testing. The system is untried and there are, of course, many unknowns. But if it works, we should be able to offer those who test negative the prospect of fewer restrictions. For example, meeting up in certain
only if you
with others
test negative,
tested negative,
you'll have less restrictions. You hear this, right? It's not the virus that is keeping people in their homes and closing their businesses. It's the government thinking that they can just allow you to do these things, allow you to see your home, your family, allow you to keep your business open.
Another restriction that has impinged on many lives. We will seek to end automatic isolation.
Big government parents are telling the children, the public, we'll allow you to do this.
Will only need to isolate if they themselves test positive. If successful, this approach will be extended across the health system next month and to the whole of England from January. And of course, we're working with the devolved administrations to ensure that Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland also benefit, as they should and will, from these advances in rapid testing. But clearly the most hopeful advance of all is how vaccines are now edging ever closer to liberating us from the virus.
The vaccine's going to liberate us. The vaccine is going to liberate us all, huh?
Without end.
We the people, we need a vaccine to be liberated.
Which has
listen to this shit.
A wonderful British scientific achievement. The vaccine, developed with astonishing speed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca, is now one of 3 capable of delivering a period of immunity. We don't yet know when any will be ready and licensed, but we have ordered 100 million doses of the Oxford vaccine and over 350 million in total, more than enough for everyone in the UK, the Crown dependencies.
Why don't you tell the people what's in these vaccines, and if we do not accept it, what you're planning on doing?
Immunization program ready next month.
Forcing people.
Never witnessed. Mr. Speaker, 2020 has been in many ways a tragic year when so many have lost loved ones and faced financial ruin, and this will be from the government, not from the vaccine, and not from the virus, from the government. A long road to spring.
This virus, you have a 99% chance of survival.
We must
come on now.
Against the virus until testing and vaccines come to our rescue and reduce the need.
This is crap. More people have died of tuberculosis, cancer, AIDS, bird flu, swine flu, MERS, SARS. Hell, you have a better chance of walking across the street and getting hit by a car than getting COVID-19 and dying.
Will finally lift the shadow of this virus, and Mr. Speaker, I commend this statement to the House.
Come on, people. Now, this is not just the United States of America problem. This is a worldwide problem. This is the New World Order trying to gain its control over the entire population of the planet. They're doing it in other countries. Right here, right then, you just saw. This is in the UK and Europe and stuff like that. All right? This is what they are doing all over the planet. Australia, New Zealand, United States, Canada, Europe, everywhere. All right? Everywhere. They want everything to basically be the same like it is in China. All right? Listen, people, we people of this planet, we cannot allow tyranny to rule over us and force us to live by their rules. This virus does not allow you to go see your family if you test negative. No, it's the government. Every government for centuries. You go all the way back to when Caesar was in power. Go all the way back. Every government system through centuries has done nothing but oppress and enslave the people. And also, if anybody denies or refuses the government or does not comply, they try and kill them off. This is how it's been for centuries. This is just the newest way, the most technological way that they are trying to oppress and enslave and kill the people off. All right? People around the world, you need to wake up. You need to actually wake up. We need to stop this in its tracks. All right? Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be awesome if we just go back to having freedom and liberty? Everybody taking full, personal responsibility for themselves, being an individual, a sovereign that you're born with. You're a born sovereign. Every one of you out there, in every country, you're a born sovereign. It doesn't matter what the government tells you. Doesn't matter what the government says. You are born sovereign. But they want to change that. That's what they've been trying to flip that script for centuries, that the government is the sovereign and you are just a product, basically. You're just property. You're not property. No one has a higher claim over your life and your property than you do. The government is nothing but a legal fiction. It only exists on paper. And you got these evil fuckers that are manipulating and using the government powers. Powers. That's another thing too. Where in the hell do they get this power? I mean, is it magic? Do they got this freaking pixie dust they sprinkle on a piece of paper and all of a sudden they've got this power? No. People, you have been living a lie and believing the lie, and you've given your consent for them to have this power. Stop giving your consent. Stop giving these people your authority to them, your sovereignty to them, because they believe the government on all its forms, and now it just wants to be one world government for all countries. They believe that they are the all-powerful sovereign, and we are just property, and they can do and say and tell us to do whatever the fuck they want, and we are obligated to just comply. That is bullshit. Flat out bullshit. People of the world, I live in America, of the United States. All right, It only took 3% of the population back in the day to kick the fucking British out of our country. Alright? Can you imagine what 3%, just 3% of the entire population of the planet could do to the New World Order? And tyranny in all levels. Can you imagine? I know there's a lot of people out there that are on the same mindset as me. I know that we are unified in our values and our morality and our thought process. I know we're unified. The only problem is that we're very divided geographically in a geographic locations. We're all spread out. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Evil never rests. Evil does not take a day off. Evil is trying to rule over all of us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every second of the day, they are trying to conspire to rule over us. The masters of the universe is what they want to be. And they think that we have the moral obligation to just obey. You know what I say? Fuck you. I say fuck you to all forms of government. When you split the word government down into its etymological it's made of two Latin words, govino and mentis. Govino means to govern, which is to control. And then mentis is the mind. You got control, mind control. That is what government is. It's mind control. They don't really give a shit about your body. They want your mind. They want to control your mind. Wake up, people. We need to get out of the matrix. This is the 1122 Wingnut Radio, back out.